Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about something that I get asked about constantly. People are always like, how do you manage to do all these different things and still have your life together? Or my personal favorite from last week, you must have like 48 hours in your day while the rest of us only get 24. Well, let's be real. Nobody is just naturally organized. It's like saying that people are just naturally good at calculus. Like, no, honey. They just spent hours crying over the same problem sets that you didn't see. What you see is the result of systems. Carefully planned out systems that I have built over the last few years of trial and error. And I am going to share with you exactly what I did so that you do not have to think that organization is just a magical talent that people are born with. Before we move on, I would just like to say that I do not want this video to be one of those wake up at 5 a.m. and journal type of videos. If that works for you, great, because it works for me. But I want this video to be something that you can refer to when you're exhausted and lack motivation completely and are having one of your worst days so that you can still get up and be productive and get success in your day. Part 1, the myth of natural organization. So here's a little story for you. Back in high school, I was a complete disaster. Showing up late to labs, wrong assignments, forgetting deadlines, pulling all-nighters because I didn't like to start things until the last moment. And I wasn't really interested either. Meanwhile, there was this other girl, let's call her Emma, who seemed to have it all put together. Perfect notes, amazing grades, great friends, never stressed, and always prepared. And I would think to myself, she's just naturally organized. I'm just not weird that way. Cut to 3 years later when Emma and I became best friends. And you know what she told me? She had been diagnosed with ADHD as a child and had spent years trying to perfect her life and manage that. What I thought was a natural talent ended up being years of incredibly deliberate planning. That was my first realization. Organization isn't a personality trait, it's a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned and honed. Let's get one thing straight. About 89% of the people who seem naturally organized are just so good at acting, and you are willing to believe that they are because they are able to hide their chaos. The other 11% have actually managed to find systems that work for them so well that it seems effortless for them. The truth is, our brains aren't designed for the modern world. We're running mental software that evolved to track seasonal migration patterns and remember which berries are poisonous. But now we're trying to manage Slack notifications, project deadlines, social media, and remembering to call grandma on her birthday. When I say color coded, I don't mean literally using different colored markers. Although, we'll get to that later. No wonder we feel so stressed. So, what do I mean by color coded life systems? I'm talking about creating categories that mentally tell your brain this is what matters, this is where it belongs, and that is what I need to deal with. Part 2, mental models, the foundation of organization. Think of your mind as an exclusive nightclub. There's limited space inside, and you let everyone in. It quickly becomes chaotic and unpleasant. You need a bouncer at the door deciding who gets to get in and who doesn't. The bouncer is your system. The first mistake people make is trying to organize their physical stuff before organizing their mental stuff. So, let's start with basics. What you need are mental models. Mental models are just a fancy way of saying a way of thinking about things so that it makes your life easier. It's like having different buckets in your mind where you can quickly sort information. Here's one mental model that I use constantly: the effort, time, and impact model. Every task in my life gets mentally categorized according to how much energy it will take, how much time it will consume, and how much impact it will create. So let's say I have a coding assignment due next week. High energy, medium time, high impact. Whereas replying to a non urgent email, low energy, low time, and probably low impact. This mental sorting happens automatically now, but I had to originally train my brain to think this way, and it completely transformed how I structure my days and think about my tasks. When I wake up early in the morning, I always target the high impact and high energy items first. And when I drag down through the afternoon, I switch to low energy and low impact tasks. This isn't revolutionary, but most people never think about it consciously, which is strange. Another popular framework that I like to use is the future self framework. It's where, whenever I'm making a decision, I ask myself, am I making my future self's life easier or harder? Like, when I'm exhausted at night and I'm about to leave my workplace a mess, I think about morning me who will have to deal with it. Do I really want to screw her over? Like, for example, I was supposed to be recording this video last night. Part 3, the life domains approach. Now, let's get practical. The most useful organization concept that I have ever implemented in my life are called life domains. Most people try to implement one single organization system for everything in their life. One app, one method, one planner for everything. That's like trying to make use of a hammer for everything that can do, from hanging pictures on the wall to making breakfast. It's the wrong tool for most jobs. So, what should we do instead? You probably already separate your life into distinct domains: academic and technical work, creative projects, physical maintenance, relationships, business and career development, home maintenance, and so on. And each single domain requires its own success metrics, time and energy, tools and systems, and a lot more. Let's take technical work for an example. If I'm doing my college coursework in AI/ML, I require dedicated digital workspace and time blocking systems and specialized note taking systems so that I know where to refer to when I'm studying. I require weekly review protocols so that I can keep up with my coursework, but this type of system will not work for my creative content management systems. What I need there is unstructured time for my ideas to percolate, or different note taking approaches so that I can allow my creativity to flow and capture inspiration, and I would need completely different success metrics. The magic happens when you stop trying to force everything into the same system. Your brain naturally compartments everything anyways, without trying to make it conscious. We're just making it conscious. And here is where things start to get interesting. You realize that each distinct domain in your life has its own different color. Not literally, but emotionally. Technical work feels blue, while creative work feels red, warm, flowing, and expansive. The technical domain, STEM organization. Let's get specific about organizing technical work because I know that many of you are also in the technical field. And the biggest misconception about technical organization is that it is purely and completely logical. But our brains just don't work that way. Even the most analytical and technical minds respond to emotions and context. I know that some of you are thinking, but I just need to keep track of my assignments and deadlines. Trust me, I thought so too. And then I had 3 major projects due the same week, plus 2 exams, and then I realized how inadequate that approach was. Here's what actually works. I would like to introduce you to 2 main methods. Number 1, runway lengths. Runway lengths describe the amount of time that you need for preparation before a task, and not every task requires the same preparation time. A short runway would require 1 to 3 days of preparation, like before a test. 1 to 3 weeks of preparation is for medium runway tasks. And if it requires multiple weeks of preparation, then you can consider it a long runway. The other method is complexity batching. I prefer to use this method for most of my planned tasks. What you do here is you measure the complexity of a task and batch them together. Like, for example, a lot of mathematical work can go together. Coding tasks can go together. Creative work can go together. Research and reading can go together. Documentation tasks can go together. Or, if you'd like to broaden it a bit more, your coding, documentation, and logging tasks can be added together. And your research and studying work can be batched together. That's completely up to you. Oh, you have no idea how many years I wasted initially trying to switch between tasks when I could have just focused on one complexity item at a time. But at least I know it now. Oh, those precious engineering years. But after batching my work, my productivity has doubled. But the real game changer is what I like to call insight insurance. Technical work isn't just about completing tasks, it's about having insights. And insights don't just happen on command. So I build what is called inefficiency into my schedule. I deliberately leave gaps between technical work sessions. And I'll work intensely for around 90-minute sessions and then do something completely different like folding laundry or making food or going for a walk or anything non technical. Even playing Minecraft works. And then I'll return to the problem. And finally, bringing it all together. The goal of organization isn't just to impress anyone or feel superior. Of course, it's to feel superior. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. It's to create a space in your life for what actually matters. When people ask me how I managed to do so many different things from different domains, my honest answer is that I just don't give in to chaos. I have systems that can manage my routines, so my mind is left free to do what I find is exceptional. Organization isn't just about perfection, it's about alignment. When your systems align with how you truly feel and what you value, life flows just so much more easily. Start with understanding your mental patterns and create categories that seem intuitive to you. Rather than creating friction for yourself, let your life flow more easily. And next, I might make a video about how they hire me for diversity. Thank you.